All right, we're gonna restart this because I think I just lied. But hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for kicking it with your girl again today. If you're new here, my name is Monique Travell and welcome to my channel. So I've been going for about 2 to 3 months, I want to say. Only guys because my laptop broke. I sat, filmed, and edited an entire video for my laptop to break and tell me that my laptop's pretty much too old to use the editing software that I use anymore. So I had to buy a whole new laptop. And then my munchkin came a few days earlier than expected. So I've been dealing with transitioning and adjusting to being a mommy now too. But yeah, if you already follow me on my social media, you guys already knew pretty much what was going on. If you don't follow me, go ahead and follow me at my mommy page at the Mama Princess. And also if you want to, you can follow my personal page at Monique Travell. So without further ado, you guys all know why we're here. You guys want to know how my labor and delivery went during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the word we're going to use to describe that is going to be an experience, because that's just the only word that could really grasp and sums up my labor and delivery experience. So without further ado, we are going to hop right on in. So I'm going to try to get all the dates for you guys because it's been about 2 months since I had her and mommy brain is a real thing. So I'm going to try to be as exact as possible. It was no way what I thought my delivery or how birthing my child would ever be, how I ever imagined it. So this is how I'll start off. Okay, so when I was pregnant, I had no intentions on having an exact birth plan. Like, I'm a very organized person. I do like to plan. I am definitely a planner, but I knew birth is something that you couldn't really plan because things go the way they want to go. So as with my experience, things went the way they wanted to go. So I wanted to try a natural birth. Not natural meaning staying home, water birthing, no. I just wanted to try with no medication, no epidural, vaginal delivery. However, even though that was my goal, I knew that if I needed that epidural, I wasn't going to stop myself from getting it because I wanted to have this natural birth. Like, if I felt like I needed it, I was going to ask for it. I just wanted to pretty much see how far I could go without the epidural, which ended up being a whole 30 hours. So I think I did pretty good without an epidural. So that was my plan. See how far I can go without an epidural. If I can go the whole way, great. If I can't, oh well, I'm going to get it and have this girl vaginally. Okay? So keep that in mind when we get to the end of my story. So I ended up having Leilani on June 1st at 7 a.m. exactly on the dot. I went into labor, that was a Monday. I went into labor Saturday night. So technically Sunday morning, because I had started having my first contraction Saturday at 12 a.m. around like maybe like 11:30, 12 o'clock. So let's say Saturday night I started to feel contractions. I wasn't really sure if they were contractions because I did have some cramping. I did have a few Braxton Hicks. So I called my mom. My mom was like, no, it's been going for about like 30 minutes now. You may be having some contractions. So, you know, in the beginning, they weren't that bad. I was chilling. I was cool. I think it got to about 2 o'clock and they were still coming. They were coming maybe like a couple of minutes in between each other, maybe like 5 minutes apart, maybe like 6 or 7 minutes apart. They were very infrequent. But I was definitely having consistent contractions. So I'm like, okay, this is it. So, you know, I'm getting ready. My bags are packed. I'm good. I'm joking around, talking to my mom and my boyfriend. I'm doing my makeup. They're laughing at me because I'm putting my makeup on. But like in my head, I'm like, if I can go there looking popping, that's what I'm going to do. Like, oh well. So a couple more hours passed by. I think at about 9 a.m. that Sunday morning, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to go to, oof, y'all heard that? That was not cute. About 9 a.m. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital. And I called my doctor before this as well. Like, I talked to her. She was telling me to wait it out as long as possible, as long as I can, until I feel like I need medicine to come in. I'm not sure if that was like a normal procedure or if it's because of COVID, but whatever. So I tried that. I was like, I can't do this. I need to go in. So I went in at like 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. And okay, so let me back up a little bit. So during my prenatal appointments, my doctor let me know that don't worry, you're going to be able to have one person in there with you during your labor and delivery. You won't be by yourself. Cool. So I get to the hospital and I'm waiting to check in. There's another lady in front of me who's also pregnant, and I see them telling her husband that he has to go home until he's ready. And I'm like looking, I'm like, all right, maybe her situation's different. Like, I don't know. Like, my doctor told me my man can stay with me, so that's what's gonna happen, right? So I get up to the nurse or whoever is taking, you know, checking me in, and she's like, okay, well, your boyfriend's gonna have to wait until we admit you. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean? He's like, you can go home or you can sit in the car. He can't wait in the waiting room because of COVID. He has to be somewhere outside. I'm like, all right, you know, whatever it is, what it is. I'm having these contractions. I'm not about to sit there and argue with them. They're just doing their job. It's not their fault. There's a pandemic. There's nothing I can do. So I get up there around 9 o'clock and I'm just like so beat. I did not sleep that night because my contractions were so bad. Every time I fell asleep, I woke up because, like I said, they were like a couple minutes apart. So maybe like 5 to 10 minutes apart. And they were infrequent, so I could not sleep at all. So I get up there and, you know, they're checking me. They're like, oh, you're still only 1 centimeter dilated. Mind you, the week before at my prenatal appointment, I was 1 centimeter dilated. So I'm like, bro, I've been 1 centimeter for a week. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But she was like, that's normal for your first pregnancy. You're usually 1 centimeter for a while. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm in so much pain. I'm like, actually, I'm in pain. I didn't know, you know, the level of pain that it was going to get to. So right now I'm in pain, but I'm thinking like, oh my God, I can't focus. Like, this is annoying. I didn't ask for epidural or anything. They wouldn't have given it to me because I was only 1 centimeter dilated, but I'm trying to sleep. So she's like, let me give you something, you know, to help you sleep a little bit. She gave me, I don't remember if it was Zyrtec or some kind of allergy medicine that would, you know, help me to relax and go to sleep. So I'm like, you know, sleeping or whatever. I think it's about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're like, you know, you still haven't progressed. So, you know, we have to send you home. I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Like, how much longer do I have to deal with this pain? And I'm talking to the nurse, and all the nurses at my hospital were like amazing. They were so cool. The nurse, the first nurse I had when I'm there at 9 a.m. had the same birthday as me. So she's like, I'm not going to be here, but you're definitely going to be back within the next 24 hours to have this baby. So, you know, just, you know, keep it together. Hold on. It's going to be okay. So I called my boyfriend. He came to pick me up. We got back to my house, and, you know, I'm just going through the whole day with these contractions. I think it gets to about, it's like nighttime, so like the whole day goes by. I'm trying to sleep, can't sleep, trying to sleep, can't sleep, you know, whatever, the whole motion, just going back and forth, yada yada yada. Then I'm not gonna give you guys times because I really don't remember the times anymore, but like I know it's nighttime, right? So I start vomiting and I'm like, holy shit, like it's happening. Like, I've watched the videos, people be throwing up while they're in the middle of delivery. I'm like, oh, we gotta go. My mom's like, relax, like you're not going anywhere. My contractions are still very infrequent, between like not 5 to 10 minutes anymore, maybe like 5 to 7 minutes, maybe like, no, I want to say like between 3 to 7 minutes infrequently still. So like one contraction 3 minutes apart, the next one's like 6 minutes apart. Like, they're very all over the place. So I'm like in so much pain, like I can barely sit. I'm trying to move positions because, you know, that's what my research, you're supposed to move around. I'm moving and it's not helping. I tried to get on all fours and I felt like it just got so much worse. Like, I couldn't even move from the all fours, so I just had to tackle that contraction in the all four position. Like, it was so bad. I was in so much pain, you guys. I wanted to cry. I'm surprised I didn't cry. Like, I'm really surprised I didn't cry because I was in so much pain and nothing was helping. I tried heating pad on my back. I tried, what else? I tried to have my boyfriend rub my back. I was, you know, trying to stay hydrated or whatever. I couldn't even eat. Like, it was so bad. So I get to the point where I'm like, yo, I cannot take this anymore. So I call my doctor. and she's like, if your contractions are still not, I forgot what it is, like 3 minutes apart or something like that for an hour, then, you know, you shouldn't come in. It's not time yet. So I'm like, oh my God, like, what can I do? My mom's on the phone with her, like, you know, what can she do? My doctor tells me go take a bath. All right, cool. So I think it's like maybe like 10 or 11 o'clock at this point at night, and my mom ran a bath for me. I'm in the bathtub, and like instantly, as soon as I got in the bath, I was like, oh my God, I felt so much relief, y'all. Like, I was able to smile. I was talking to my boyfriend a little bit. Like, I'm good. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not moving out of this bathtub at all. Like, nobody is getting me out of this bathtub until it's ready to go to the hospital. Like, it's time. And so I'm in the bath for about 5 minutes. 5 minutes in, here they come again, and they're like worse. I'm like, holy shit, like, what is happening? So I'm in like this nice warm bathtub, and then I start sweating, and then I'm too hot, like I need to drink, but like the water's not even hot, it's just me and my body. So like they keep giving me water, and they keep putting like a cold washcloth on my head. I'm like, all right, I'm cool. Like each contraction, like I got like the sweats. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, how much longer am I gonna have to do this? I'm like, I cannot do this. Like, somebody get this baby out of me. Like, I can't do it. So then I'm like chilling in the bathtub, and I hear my boyfriend go, what is that? Like, this is his first baby too, so we're both like clueless. Thank God my mom was there, because I don't know how this would have went if she wasn't there. But he's like, yo, what is that in the bathtub? And I'm like, I don't know, I don't feel nothing. Like, I look down, and there's like a blood clot. It looked like a blood clot, right? So I'm like, oh shoot, I'm bleeding. So I call my mom, and she was like, oh, that looks like your mucus plug. It was more like a mucusy, but it had some blood in it. So she called my doctor. No, she was like, I don't even think we called the doctor. I think we just went. We were like, all right, yo, it's time. So like, mind you, at this point, my mucus plug broke. I'm in so much pain. The contractions are like 10 times as much as they were earlier in the day. I can't, and they're so quick, like they're back to back, like maybe 2-3 minutes apart at this point. And I'm like, I can't even like get my clothes on. Like, now I have to get I could barely stand up out of the bathtub, let alone having to stand up out of the bathtub, put clothes on, dry off, like get my shoes on, do all this while having contractions, and try to hurry up at the same time. So I don't even know how long it took me. Maybe like 20-30 minutes it took me to get dried off, dressed, and ready to get in the car. I'm like having to stop every couple. I couldn't even make it down the steps without stopping like 2 or 3 times, because I was getting a contraction, because at this point I can't walk while I'm having the contractions. We get in the car, my boyfriend's like rushing to the hospital. Get there again. At this point, he just puts me in the wheelchair. He left his bags in the car. I grabbed my bag, and he puts it on my lap, and you know, I get checked in again, and we go upstairs, and we got there around 12 a.m. So I'm in a different room this time, and we're going through the same motions. Like, I'm still 1 centimeter dilated, y'all. 1 centimeter dilated. It's been over 12 hours, and I'm still 1 centimeter dilated, y'all. And these contractions are coming. They're coming. They're coming. Like, they're non-stop. So they give me the same medicine again to kind of help relax me so I can get some sleep and kind of ignore the contractions for a little bit, get a little bit of a break. So I'm trying to sleep. There's people blowing up my phone, but I'm like knocked out, because I'm in the hospital by myself having a baby, like by myself. So like my mom's freaking out, she's trying to make sure I'm okay. My boyfriend's freaking out, trying to see like when he can get here. Like, all my friends and my cousins are texting me, and I'm just like dead to the world. Like, I'm in and out of sleep. I'm not even paying attention to my phone. Like, it was annoying. All right, so everything was going a little bit more smoothly. I'm still having contractions. I'm still in pain. They're having me on whatever like kind of allergy medicine to help me kind of relax a little bit and sleep. And 3 o'clock hits, and everything kind of just like changes completely, like a whole 360. And the nurse comes in, and she's looking at the heart monitor, and she realizes that my baby's heart rate was dropping. So she's like, you know, adjusting her, getting her heart rate to come back up or whatever, and you know, everything went back to normal. So at like 3:30, they notice that her heart rate starts dropping again. And at this point, like, even though they were moving and I was breathing, it still wasn't coming back as fast as it came back before. So at this point, my doctor's there, and she's like, we're gonna admit you and try to give you an epidural to see if that helps relax you, right? So I call my boyfriend at 3:30. I'm like, hey, they're gonna admit me, they're gonna give me epidural to help, you know, relax me, you can get here, right? So he gets there maybe around like 4 a.m., whatever the case may be, and my doctor checks me again and she's like, you're 5 centimeters dilated. All right, cool. So as she's checking me, I get another contraction. Like as soon as she finished, I get another contraction and her heart rate dropped, like to the point where I think it may have even stopped. And they're like, they're not freaking, like, I don't know, it kind of felt like they were freaking out. It's like an intense moment, so like they're kind of freaking out, I'm kind of freaking out, and you can hear this. Like, keep in mind, you hear the heartbeat the whole time you're in there, so you can hear it like faint and dropping and then coming back up, and then faint and dropping and coming back up. So you're trying to relax in a situation where you can't really relax because your child's heart rate is dropping. This child that you carried for 9 months, all you can think about is, I've carried you for 9 months, and if you don't make it through at this point, like, what the fuck? Like, that's crazy. Like, I went through all of this, and, you know, this is how it's gonna end. And I know that happens to some people, and thank God it did not happen to me, but that was my thought process at the time. So they're like moving her around, they're trying everything. Finally the epidural comes in, and it didn't help. Long story short, it didn't help at all. So it's about like maybe closer to like now like 5:30, 6 in the morning, whatever, around that time. And my doctor comes back in again, and it's doing the same thing, but like they can't even get it to come back at this point. So, well, like they got it to come back, but it was hard to get that heart rate to come back. So my doctor looks at me and she goes, Monique, you're gonna have a C-section. I'm like, all right, I don't care, do it. Cause at this point, like I'm having panic attacks. Like my boyfriend doesn't know what's going on. There's all these people in this room, like pressing on my stomach, trying to get her to move around, trying to help me breathe through it. Like it was crazy. So they got everything together, and rushed me in to have an emergency C-section. And yeah, so that's what happened. I ended up having my baby at 7 a.m. on June 1st. She was born 6 pounds, 2 ounces. She's a tiny thing. And yeah, that's just literally no way I thought my labor would go. Like I knew not to have a plan, but I did not think I would be rushed into an emergency C-section. Like that's just wasn't in my realm of possibilities at all. But thank God I had a good doctor who called it when she did call it, because she told me there was no way I would have had her vaginally because the umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck, which is probably why I wasn't dilating, or I was taking forever to dilate. She was like, there's no way, because the umbilical cord would have just kept pulling her back in every time she would have tried to come down. And like, it's very emotional hearing that, like knowing that the umbilical cord was wrapped around your child's neck, knowing that it could have been over if I would have had like a home birth or something. I don't even know how that would have went, but I'm just like so blessed, so thankful to have had my baby make it through that I made it through that I had such a great doctor. And yeah, that was my labor and delivery story. It was pretty freaking crazy. So like this wasn't something that I could just post on my Instagram blog, like as like an Instagram blog post. Like I couldn't do that. Like you guys needed to hear the whole entire story. So here it is. And sorry it's so late, but motherhood for first time mom is pretty hectic. So yes, that's what happened. And I still like try to wrap my head around the fact that that did happen, to be honest with you guys. Like, 'cause it's just crazy. Like I'm good off hospitals for a while. Like I don't need to go into hospital at all whatsoever. But yeah, that is it. I'm surprised she is still sleeping. She's been napping for like 3.5 hours at this point. Probably gonna wake up hungry in a little bit. So I'm going to head out of here. Thank you guys for watching. If you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you can see some more videos. And yeah, tell your friends about me, tell your friends to subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe, tell their friends to subscribe, and just subscribe. All right guys, until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.